What's up, my dudes? Back of me is here, and today we got the Fosters Season 5, Episode 6, Welcome to the Jungler. Okay, so this episode start off with Stephanie saying, hey, Jesus, dropping out of school is illegal. It's California is a state, is a something state, and Jesus needs to get out of school, to stay in school until he's 18, or if he takes a proficiency test, or staff will have to arrest him. And he's like, seriously? And they're like, yeah, seriously. So, yeah, so they're like, maybe, alien's like, maybe you do need to arrest some staff. We need some tough love around here. So he's just venting Gabe saying, hey, without they said Emma can come over. Between Emma and this, I have no life. And he's like, I understand why they're mad. Yeah. Why they're mad, but yeah. So AJ's like, hey Brandon, Mike and I are getting engaged. We need to plan something for them. So he tells staff that, Mike tells staff that he asked Anne to marry him. And she's like, congratulations, Mike. She says, I hope Anne's not a lesbian. And basically makes a joke about how last time that turned out with her and Mike and all that. So anyway, Anna comes over to talk to Jesus and Marietta, but yeah, so Jesus is like, hey, Gabe asked me if you still think that if I know that you're with Mike and he's a great guy, but do you still think of Gabe? And she was like, why how he still thinks of you? And she's like, he still thinks of you. And she's like, how do you know that? And he's like, cause he's still in love with you. And when Mario comes down, Anna is just like, see ya, I just came here to say hi. And she's like, hi. And Brandon's like, hey, did Anna tell you her and my dad were getting engaged? And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, I think, and then when Brandon leaves, it's like, I think it's because of what Anna told, and it's like, what did Aunt tell him? And it's like, what did you tell Aunt? And it's like, cause Gabe loves her and wants to be with her. And she's like, just because, and then their first love, and just because they're, and just because they're first love, people get married to their first love. Mario would have a bunch of man's boys before she gets married, and Jesus says he only wants one person, which is of course Emma. So Mike comes in and he's like, and Grace calls and he's like, hey, and he's like, actually speaking of, now let's talk about Grace, Brandon, and Courtney. Yes. So Brandon and Mason are hanging out when Emma apologizes Courtney apologizes to Brandon for what she said in season 4, episode 11, about how he hurt her and hurt Mason, and how she didn't want to be consolation prize or anything, and yeah, she apologizes and so anyway, Grace calls and says, hey, I want to meet Courtney. He's like, why? Because she's going to obviously be in your life because of Mason. So Mike comes in, he's like, hey Brandon, you look snazzy. And Brandon's like, snazzy? I'm going to change. so he explains to AJ, Brandon, to say, hey, Brandon, then AJ told me about what you did, and told me about what you did. So what did, and basically what did, and sorry, I have my mind confused. What AJ told him about you marrying, and he's like, I want to tell you first, I want you to be my best man at the wedding. So yeah, so anyway, now let's talk about, so anyway, the night between Courtney, Brandon, and Grace is kind of a good one. It does get a little awkward by Brandon and Grace singing the song, and then when Courtney's asked to do it, she sings only one song. The animal crackers in my soup song that she and Brandon sang in season 3, and what she's singing is Grace is just drinking liquor and alcohol or something. Just drinking, even though she said she's a lightweight, and when she gets out of, she was like, you two were so good together, but Brandon's like, we were too good, and she basically throws up, and it's kind of gross. And yeah, so they basically drive Grace home. So yeah, so Brandon's like, he's just gonna take out the trash, but the whole Anna and Gabe getting together thing is on his head, because of his TBI. He's all confused. So basically, Brandon goes out one night to take out the garbage. He sees two people kissing, and you might think it's Sam, but no, it's Gabe and Courtney. And it's kind of like, Gabe, why are you kissing a 21-year-old woman? What are you doing, Gabe? So anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about Jude and Taylor and Noah. So Jude and Noah are hanging out when they mention about the let's extend our pod no let's extend our pot no games no pop pack for forever, and they jokingly say, and they say, hey, here's this guy named Ozo6 that we watch, and this guy is just a homophobic dude. He calls people the F word, the HGOTs, and tells them to stay on his face, and basically Noah is not having this, and he basically confronts Jude saying, hey, you basically broke our game pack, and he's like, it doesn't matter when we're doing, no matter when we're, he's like, it does when you lie about it. So yeah, so Jude and Taylor do this stream where the do this like stream where they call out Ozosek, and basically the other 6 fans are not happy with this. They basically call Jude a butthurt snowflake, and basically Noah sees this and takes it down, and Jude thinks of letting the trolls win, but Jude's like, but Noah's like, hey, it's his account, he can do what he wants with his videos. So he decided to take the video down. And basically when Jude was seeing these comments, he told her he texted Taylor, hey, don't accept random friend requests. And she basically said too late. So yeah, so anyway. So anyway, Mariana, let's talk about Mariana. So Mariana, Callie couldn't Mariana's mad at Callie because of what she said at last episode about her and Callie apologizes, which she kind of doesn't need to. Mariana, they deserve the wake up call. So yeah, so she's like, Jesus, so she's like, Jesus, what do you think is a better name? Scary on Adams Fossil. And she's like, for what? For her derby name. And she's like, you really think moms are gonna let you go derby? And yeah, so yeah, so she's like, you think moms are really gonna let you go derby? So first, the answer is no from the moms because of everything that was going on with Jesus and Mariana with Jesus. And yeah, so basically Callie does tell Jimena that Mariana forged her signature. So she's like, you forged your signature, you forged your permission slip, I need to talk with your parents. So yeah, so she basically explains why derby is good for Mariana. It makes Mariana Mariana has no friends at school, and it's like Mariana's hanging out with women that look exactly like her, and she's like, what about? And Leah's like, what about concussions? And she's like, what about injuries? And she's like, they'd be pulled off bench and they'd be sent to the hospital right away. And she's like, we'll talk with mom. And Mariana's like, and Jimenez's like, hey, for 4 year student shift, you'll be have to stay out a couple of games. So yeah, so anyway, yeah. So anyway, back at the team, back at the. So anyway, let's start off. Well, here's Sean's point. Here we start off at Sean's thing, where he's talking about he's talking with Jimena, and basically he's talking about it with her, and yeah, and he's like, do you believe in this? And he's like, do you believe in this? And Kylie's like, you do? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, do you? And Aaron's like, no, I don't believe in this. And basically, Jimena attacks Aaron, and Kyle gets a call from Kyle saying he's out. So basically, they go visit Kyle, and Kyle is doing right for himself, but he's afraid of Patrick Malloy, Detective Gray, thinking they'll come after him again. And I understand his fear. Like, dude had spent like how many episodes? He's been a long time being transferred from one prison cell to the other. I understand why he's scared. I'm glad he's finally out after Troy Johnson back, but I understand why he's scared. But anyway, yeah. So Steph has him wearing. So he and Steph team up, and he's basically like, hey, you don't know. So he and Steph team up, and he basically goes attack Gray, and Gray's like, hey, I meant to go attack Moy, and Moy's like, hey Kyle, I heard you were out, and he's like, I just want to know why you're testifying. He's like, I don't remember any of this. And he's like, yeah, you do. And he's like, you gotta leave me alone, or I'll call people. I'll even call Gray himself. So basically, so he's just like, leave, and he's like, you don't know anything. You don't know what you're getting into, Steph. And yeah, so anyway, yeah. So this episode was really good. This episode was really so Mariana might be singing. Mariana didn't deserve that apology. Callie didn't deserve to apologize to Mariana. Mariana kind of deserves to be called out after what she's done, and Callie was kind of say apologize, because I'm just like, Callie, you need to apologize. Mariana deserves to be called out because of what she's done. But anyway, yeah, so Jesus thinks that Gabe and Anna should be together, which is kind of like, yeah, actually, yeah. So Jesus gave Emma a ring, and he's like, and he gave her a ring, and yeah. So yeah. And he's just like, Emma won't marry him if he won't go back to school. So it's just like, you're kind of wrong here. Emma didn't mean it like that. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, because I want from there. And I'll see you next, The Fosters.